Kaduna retirees stage peaceful protest over non-payment of pension. Senator Ndume breaks silence on his removal as chief whip, declines chairmanship of Senate committee. Property owners in Kano beg government to wait for court decision over alleged illegal acquisition. Another foreign President Ruto names part of new cabinet to defuse crisis. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. The news now. Rising cost of living is creating excruciating hardships on the lives of retirees who retired from Kaduna State government after 35 years of service. The retirees who staged a peaceful protest in Kaduna lament that living without pension and other entitlements after leaving service for years has been a difficult one, especially amidst the present cost and rising cost of living. Bello Musa was there and files in this report.
They are retirees who have worked under the Kaduna State government in different capacities. According to them, despite successful retirement from the state civil service under the contributory pension scheme, they are yet to get their entitlements and other benefits.
If government cannot pay us, then they should bring out either 4 or 5 billion and make it a special allocation that retirees who have not accessed their RSA should go for loan either of 500,000, 1 million, depending on what you have saved. That one will bring a form of palliative to our people.
Does it mean that it is a crime to serve your state and retire? Does it mean this is how we are going to die? We need our money. It's high time the government look at our plight and pay us our money. It's high time.
At least you have been working, and after retiring, I have retired for more than 4.5 years now, but nothing. There are some of our colleagues that are even more than that, nothing.
They say prices of foodstuffs has skyrocketed in the market and they are living without income to cater for their families.
Solely by the grace of God and well wishes, that's how we are surviving. And the little farming we are embarking on, that is how we are surviving.
The worst thing is that even when government is saying that they are giving palliatives, they never remember us. They have never remembered us any time. They will just be saying it in the media and we'll just be hearing. But no sign of anything. We are just suffering. It is God that is sustaining us.
According to them, their contributions into the state contributory pension scheme, introduced by the previous administration in the state, has now become a futile effort as they can't access their money.
And let me go ahead to say that we want Kaduna State to come out of this very contributory system. It is not a system that was created to help the average poor man. We are suffering, we are suffering, we are suffering, and we are dying.
What we want the government to do, we want them to pass a bill from the Kaduna House of Assembly that we can assess a minimum of 50% of our contribution.
They are appealing to the governor of Kaduna State, who inherited the scheme from the previous government, to come to their aid, as many of them have died without getting their benefit, while others are sick battling with the hospital bill. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still with the economic hardship stories, the National Bureau of Statistics in its report says food inflation has surged to 40.87% in the month of June 2024, with prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages concurrently rising as a result of the surge. Now, according to the Bureau, headline inflation rates in June showed an increase of 0.24 points when compared to the May 2024 headline inflation rate, leading to the continuous economic hardship in the country. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to FCT residents and the continuous economic hardship and also gets the views of civil society members on the way forward.
For some FCT residents, it is a mixed bag of feelings as the inflation rate in the country continues its steady rise and the resultant effect on their daily lives.
Like my business is not moving very well. You're using a very huge of money to pay transport to purchase your goods. It affected me because when we bring the goods down here, to sell in a cost price for people, people refuse to buy.
Everybody go the same market. Everybody go the same market. We buy the same. It's the same price to everybody. So, but the income there are difference level of income. So that's just the effect. Because like I told you, when that's the only thing that is sustaining us. When you buy high, you sell high. When you want to buy again, you can buy high. I don't think there's much effect there.
Things, keep increasing. The prices of things in the market keep increasing. When you go to buy something today, maybe you buy 2,000 naira, and tomorrow in the morning, but when you go there to buy the same thing in the morning, you'll be buying it 3,000, and the same thing the following day, and it keep increasing, and there's no solution at our side. So I completely, in fact, if I can have my way, I will actually leave the country.
Meanwhile, these civil society representatives from their observations say they have been able to identify the problems with the economy and how they can be addressed.
The system is not working. Everybody is suffering. People, in fact, have people begin to lose hope in the every sector of the government, both the executives, the legislative, and the judiciary. Corruption is everywhere. Inflation is everywhere. Full inflation is everywhere. One, you see, all this removal of these subsidies, anywhere Mr. President removes subsidy, I don't even need to list them, be it electricity, be it fuel prices, be it whatever it is, Mr. President should bring back those subsidies. Policies should be based on the interests of Nigerians, not interests of foreigners.
So, and there's an economic team that was actually set up by the president, ably led by the vice president of the nation. So what we are saying is, for over a year now, instead of salvaging or reducing the problems or sufferings of Nigerians, we have seen a very high increase in suffering in terms of everything we've highlighted since. So what we are talking about is, let there be a change in the leadership of the economic team. Let's have a new economic team come on board and give it their own try. Let's see what's going to happen. But as far as we are concerned, we are no longer having any trust in the current set of economic team that the president have actually put together.
Nigerians are appealing to the federal government to put modalities in place to arrest the upward trend in inflation in order to reduce the cost of living. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On the minimum wage situation, the organized private sector of Nigeria has expressed concern over its ability to pay the 70,000 naira newly approved minimum wage, saying the private organizations are overburdened by high cost of production. The Director General of Nigeria Employees Consultative Association, Adewale Smart Oyerinde, who spoke on behalf of the body, however, commended the federal government over the approval of the new minimum wage, urging it to put in place reforms that would strengthen private sector to be able to pay. The NECA DG noted that during the consultations with the National Minimum Wage Committee, the OPS expressed concern about its ability to pay the 62,000 naira recommended by the tripartite committee. He pleaded with the federal government to reverse the increase in electricity tariffs, ensure CBN redemption of all outstanding forwards for companies in the productive sector, put a freeze on introduction of new taxes and levies on businesses for the next 5 years, and provide the duty exemption on imported conversion kits and government subsidy on procurement of same. Still staying with the minimum wage in Rivers State, the governor, Fubara, has firmly denied reports suggesting that he proposed to pay a minimum wage of 80,000 naira to workers in the state and local government areas. The clarification comes in response to widespread online reports claiming that the governor had promised to implement the said wage increase. In a statement issued on Friday, the chief press secretary of the governor, Fubara, Nelson Chukwudi, described the circulating reports as unverified and baseless. He urged the public to disregard the misinformation and rely on verified communication from the governor's office. Nigeria Senator Aline Dume has described his removal as Senate Chief Whip following his criticisms against the federal government over the economic hardships and hunger experienced across the country as unpatriotic. He said this while interacting with journalists in Maiduguri. He said he has accepted his removal and bears no grudge against anyone over the action. Ndume, while commending the president for approving the minimum wage, further urged him to tackle hunger and sufferings of Nigerians. Senator Ndume also rejected the appointment as chairman Committee on Tourism.
I'm a founding member of APC. In fact, I can say I was in APC before the national chairman because I'm a member of the NPDP that formed the APC, joined the coalition that formed the APC. Still, the appropriation committee was given to me not because I was desperate about it. No, it was because I was begged to accept the position of chief whip, knowing fully that I led the campaign for emergence of Fabio as the Senate president, and I was begged to to choose whichever committee I want to be the vice chairman, and I chose appropriation in order to stand for my people and make sure that there is justice in whatever they do. So it's not like I'm desperate. They have been removed. And I learned, because nobody wrote to me, that I've been given chairman of tourism. I want to state here that I beg to decline.
President Bola Tinubu met on Friday at State House Abuja with service chiefs, challenging them to bring down the level of oil theft in the country. Inspector General of Police Kayode Gbetokunwo spoke with newsmen at State House Abuja after the security meeting, stressed that crime rates were going down across the country. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, in contrast, said the security agencies were working to bring down the level of oil theft in the country. Kehinde Amodu tells us more.
The insecurity across the country shows no sign of abating, with reports of breaches occurring from day to day. But at this routine security meeting with the president, the service chiefs are reporting that crime rate is going down. The president, it seems, is satisfied with this report.
Mr. President is happy with what we are doing. He's satisfied with our reports. He has challenged us to continue to work together and improve our synergy. And that's all. As Inspector General of Police, I have the records of all reported crimes across the country. And I can tell you that crime rate is declining in Nigeria. Records don't lie. The records are there. So I can assure you that we continue to do whatever we are doing to maintain the decline in the crime rate.
We all need to put hands together to achieve this success. Nobody can do it alone. No single service, no single individual can do this. We all need to work together, including the states. We understand that communities are going through so much, and the president is going to address those issues to ensure that we have full production.
The president is insistent that the level of oil theft must go down, and a target has been set.
His mandate, like we mentioned days back, is for us to restore full production. We are targeting 2.1 million barrels per day, which is achievable. So we are taking steps to ensure that all that is required to be done is done. The president is fully aware of the cries and hues of the communities, and he's not going to let them down. The communities should rest assured that steps are going to be taken to address their grievances so that productions will continue. And for the criminals, those ones that are hell-bent in destroying our infrastructure, stealing our crude for whatever reason, the days are numbered. They should rest assured that we're coming after them.
President Tinubu is clearly focused on restoring oil and gas production to its desired quota, in the strong belief that without this, there cannot be economic stability. The service chiefs have pledged to settle the crisis around operational areas, in line with the president's directive. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Still in security, the Nigerian Correctional Service (NCOS) has released more photos of the inmates who escaped from the medium security custodial center in Suleja, Niger State. About 119 inmates fled from the correctional center in April after rainfall destroyed the walls of the prison. While 18 of the inmates were captured in June, the NCOS late Thursday post on its X account released the names of more escapees and their photos. NCOS urged the public to report to security agencies if they see any of the escapees. In the wake of the prison break, the Deputy Superintendent of Corrections Command Public Relations Officer, FCT Command, Adamu Duza, said mechanisms have been put in place to recapture the escapees, adding that 13 of them had been retaken into custody. A youth leader of N80 Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, in Basa local government area of Plateau State, Yakubu Muhammad, has been killed by gunmen. State chapter of N80 Cattle Breeders Association of MACBAN, while confirming the incident, also said the gunmen injured 2 others during the attack. Adam Musa tells us more.
The youth leader was shot dead by the gunmen in the Jebu area of Basa around 7:40 p.m. on Thursday, while he was sitting at a tea selling point in the area. Prior to his death, the deceased was a member of a 57-man peace implementation committee established by the General Officer Commanding 3 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar. The committee was formed by the GOC following eruption of the crisis between farmers and herders in the area. The MACBAN chairman of Basa local government area, Yao Idris, described the killing of the group's youth leader as unfortunate, calling members of the group to remain calm. The killing of the youth leader is surprising and scary. As a leader, whenever you stand for the truth, people will be after you. He was not a thief or a criminal. I call on the security to fish out the perpetrators of the act. The state chairman of Gangala Fulani Development Association, Garba Abdullahi, also called for thorough investigation.
Yakubu, we know him, is a very good person. People that killed him didn't kill him because he's a criminal. They killed him because he's saying the truth and he's standing for the truth. And he is helping in keeping this place very peaceful, more especially Basa local government. So his assailants came and killed him for reason best known to them. We don't know why they killed him. So we are not suspecting anybody for now. It is the work of the security to fish out the perpetrators and bring them to.
The father of the victim, Muhammad Sani, said he has accepted the death of his son in good faith. I have accepted the killing of Yakubu in good faith. It is painful, but there is nothing I could do. I call on security to do the needful to investigate the matter so as to prevent further occurrence. While sympathizing with the family of the deceased during the burial, the Chief of Staff of the Operation Safe Haven, Brigadier General M.O. Agi, condemned the incident, assuring that they will do everything possible to ensure justice for the deceased. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Southern security were over in Taraba State. The police command has paraded over 30 criminal suspects involved in different criminal activities in the state. They were paraded at the state police headquarters by the State Police Commissioner David Iloya Lomo. Here's the report.
Among the suspects paraded are 8 kidnappers, 6 involved in culpable homicides, 1 armed robber, and 5 cattle rustlers. According to the police commissioner, the force, in collaboration with other security agencies, has owned to ensure safety of lives and properties.
The total number of arrests made, for instance, with regards to kidnapping, armed robbery, cattle rustling, unlawful possession of firearms, and others that we tabulated here, the grand total, the suspects arrested, 38, those charged to court, 12, under investigation, 26, and now we recovered several arms and ammunition.
The Commissioner of Police calls on citizens to volunteer information that will help the security agencies.
Upon interrogation, the suspects confessed to have been involved in different house break-ins and theft cases. The following exhibits were recovered from them: 1 sharp knife and money pot POS, which they use in forcing people to transfer.
The command applauded the state governor for his support in fighting crime and criminality in the state.
As Operation Lake Sanity 2 progresses, the multinational Joint Task Force (NJTF) said it has witnessed a substantial surrender of 263 Boko Haram terrorists and their families in the Sector 1, Cameroon, from 10th to 17th July 2024. A statement signed by the Chief Military Public Information Officer, Headquarters NJTF N'Djamena, Chad, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi on Friday said the wave of surrenders started on 11 July when 5 terrorists surrendered to troops in Wolgu, Nigerian-Cameroon border. Preliminary information indicated that these individuals hailed from Tumbuma and Kutumgula in Marte local government area in Nigeria. According to the statement, preliminary investigation also revealed that all the surrendered individuals are Nigerians. The statement said they have been handed over to the troops of Operation Hadinkai for further action. As Kano State Ministry of Land marked several buildings for demolition along Book Road, property owners are appealing to Governor Abba Kabiru to intervene as the case is now before the court. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reported the owners say their properties were acquired legally during the former administration of Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Here's the report.
Marked for possible demolition, the structures were built along BUK route, starting from Kofar Naisa down to Kofar Pampo. According to the owners of these buildings, the lands on top of which the structures were built were allocated by the previous government of Ganduje and subsequently sold to them in accordance with the law.
Last year,
Kano State government put the same signs, and we tried our best to see Kanubda officials to see how we can resolve the issue, but it became impossible.
The main problem is or was that some developments arose that were, situated on top of waterways. Some, if you notice, were on top of historical ponds that helped entrap rainwater and other, wastewater from the metropolitan local governments around the stretch.
They said prior to the erection of these buildings, the area was a hideout for criminals, but the environment later secured and many business activities are now taking place around the area.
There is no way that tada irin wannan ginin ba tare da ka samu approval daga gwamnati ba.
There is no way you can start a building like this without necessary approval from relevant government authorities. There must be first certificate of occupancy and then building approval, and we have gotten all these necessary documents.
The signs that were put up by the Ministry of Land and Physical Planning, it said stop, and stop in no way equals demolition or any action that is outside of that. We have a core mandate to ensure the sanctity of the master plan of Kano State, and pursuant to that, we have the responsibility of ensuring sane and proper town planning and proper development control.
According to Kano State Ministry of Land, most of these structures were acquired illegally and that they do not have necessary approvals from the state relevant authorities.
A filling station would situate itself along the route without the necessary approval from the Ministry or the Development Authority, but with a license to operate as an oil and gas company from DPR. Now, a license from DPR does not permit any company anywhere to situate their company without following the necessary approval.
Governor Abba Kabir had earlier revealed his intention to recover all properties believed to have been allocated illegally by the previous administration along BUK route, which the government said it is investigating. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed an appeal by suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari, seeking to quash the drug trafficking charge filed against him. In a judgment, the three-member panel of the appellate court dismissed Kyari's appeal for lacking in merit. Justice Adebukol Banjoko, who read the lead judgment, held that there was no reason to tamper with the findings and conclusions reached by the trial court on March 22, 2023. Kyari is standing trial alongside 4 members of his team. In January of 2023, Kyari submitted that the charge against him was legally defective. The National Assembly has urged the Northeast Development Commission to think out of the box to raise more funding in the execution of various projects that will touch the lives of the people. Chairman House Committee on NEDC Usman Zana made the charge in Bauchi during an inspection visit to some infrastructure of schools and hospitals in this state. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has more.
According to the members of the National Assembly, they are in Bauchi State to get the first-hand information on federal government projects put together by the Northeast Development Commission as part of their constitutional mandate to ensure transparency and accountability.
These are projects that touches the life of the people. And I want to clear an insinuation that the MD and the Northeast Development Commission are only doing job in a particular place. By seeing this, we have to clear that insinuations that MD is working well, his team in all the states. Finally, I will also collaborate. I will urge the MD and the management team of NEDC to collaborate with the House to look for more funding outside the government revenue that is coming. We have to think outside the box.
The managing director of the commission, Muhammad Goni Al-Kali, said they are working in collaboration with relevant stakeholders and will make sure they deliver any project in good time for the benefit of all.
This project is over 80% completed in terms of the physical structure. As you know, you can't build this kind of structure and leave it like this. There's going to be some finishing touches in terms of fittings and furniture and so on and so forth. So I can say that this project is almost 80% completed. And by the grace of God, in the next few months, probably 3 months from now, we will be able to hand over this project to the state.
However, the House Committee visited other project sites in different stages of completion in Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital and other institutions of learning across the state, while some other structures are already renovated, including the State Permanent Office of the Commission. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has dismissed an action filed by the Incorporated Trustees of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, challenging the legality of the presidential directive for the barring of SIM cards not linked with the National Identification Number, NIN. Justice Yelim Bogoro held that the policy of the federal government requiring the linkage of SIMs with the NIN is reasonably justifiable, and that the interest of the country as one indivisible and indissoluble country is greater than the right of any individual in the country. In the action filed against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Nigerian Communications Commission, SARAP had argued that the directive barring over 72 million Nigerian subscribers was an infringement of the subscribers' fundamental rights enshrined under the Constitution. Operators of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted another batch of 7 containers bearing 1.3 million bottles of codeine syrup worth 9.8 billion naira at the Onne port. This is barely 3 weeks after seizing 6,125 cartons of the same product containing over 1 million bottles worth 7.35 billion naira in street value at the Port Harcourt Ports Complex, Onne, Rivers State. The latest seizure made on Thursday is the 4th and last set of such consignments that have been under the watch list of the agency's Maritime Special Operations Unit targeting team, which worked in partnership with the Port Harcourt Ports Command of the agency and other security agencies. A statement by the Director of Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Babafemi on Friday, said the feat was achieved following credible intelligence and months of diligent tracking of the consignments from their port of departure. Other items in the container include 70 cartons of chili cutters and 55 cartons of higher-grade tablets weighing 1,100 kilograms. Ishao Shoibu, a man arrested for attempted suicide, has been released on bail to his lawyer after a test. According to a statement by Police Public Relations Officer SB Josephine Ade in Abuja on Friday, she said the FCT Police Command had on Thursday released Shoibu on bail to his lawyer Deji Adeoju. It will be recalled that Yushao had attempted to commit suicide by climbing a broadcast mast belonging to Aso Radio in Katampe, Abuja on July 8. He was arrested and subsequently sent to the FCTA Social Development Secretariat for mental assessment and evaluation. Although the assessment report indicated that he is mentally stable, symptoms of anxiety, persistent worry, and fears were observed in the course of profiling him. A police officer identified as Okon, attached to the All Progressives Congress candidate in the September 21st governorship election Monday, Okbebolo, was killed after mobs attacked the convoy of his principal and that of reinstated Deputy Governor of the state, Philip Shoaibu, in Benin on Thursday after leaving the Benin airport. Shoaibu was impeached by the State House of Assembly on April 8, but was reinstated on Wednesday after Justice Omotosho of the Abuja High Court ruled that he was unjustly impeached. Shoaibu and Okbebolo arrived at the Benin airport around 2 p.m. to the rousing welcome of supporters. An eyewitness who identified himself as John said that apart from the policeman, others were also injured in the attack. However, a statement signed by the Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehihare, blamed Shoaibu for the incident. Over in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has reiterated his administration's dedication to ensuring the equitable distribution of wealth and democratic benefits to all citizens of the state. This commitment was underscored during a recent State Executive Council meeting, which resulted in several significant decisions aimed at enhancing the socio-economic welfare of the Jigawa people. Here's the report.
These resolutions align with the implementation of Governor Namadi's 12-point agenda for effective social protection programs designed to cover the entire life cycle of the state's citizens. Speaking on behalf of the governor, the Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sport and Culture revealed that the state has registered 93,212 elderly persons aged 65 and above, 34,994 persons with disabilities, and 65,607 orphans in social protection database. These registrations open span across all 27 local government areas of Jigawa State. He said the state government has already begun disbursing the monthly social security allowance of 7,000 naira to 1,644 disabled beneficiaries across the state.
Similarly, during the council, there was approval for the commencement of second stage of the development of database for orphans and orphanages, people with disability and vulnerable age group. Similarly, the council has approved the law on social security allowance for the people with disability. During the council has unanimously agreed for the commencement of appropriate social protection and welfare programs designed to cover orphans and orphanages, people with disability and vulnerable age population, with a view to approve the sum of 10,000 naira, equal to the approval of His Excellency of 10,000 naira from the 7,000. And also His Excellency have granted the ministry to increase the register from 150 people in each local government to 200 people.
Governor Namadi's administrations continue to take decisive steps towards ensuring that every citizen benefits from the state's resources and democratic governance, reinforcing their commitment to the social equity and protection.
To health matters, the Chief Executive Officer of Vaccine Alliance, Sanya Nishta, has disclosed that cholera vaccines would arrive in Nigeria soon. Neshda, who announced this on her X handle on Thursday, said the vaccines would help curb the deadly and ongoing disease outbreak. The development follows the outbreak of the deadly disease across the country. While reacting to the outbreak on June 27, 2024, Nishtar said that the body was concerned about the cholera outbreak in Nigeria and was ready to support the country in its response, including requesting emergency vaccine doses where needed. Responding to her post, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pache, thanked GovCO for facilitating the vaccines. The minister also affirmed that the federal government is accelerating efforts to improve the water and sanitation situation in the country. Still in cholera matters, to prevent and eradicate the spread of the disease in the country, medical researchers have advised the federal government to launch more awareness campaigns, particularly in public spaces like schools and markets. Here's the report.
To prevent the spread of cholera disease in the state and nation, medical researchers have recommended that government create awareness campaigns in different local dialects as it was done during the COVID-19 pandemic. Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Professor Babatunde Salako, stated that the institute has developed a point-of-care test for diagnosing cholera in bodily fluids and water, while Director of Disease Control, Professor Oliver Ezechi, emphasized the need for government to raise awareness and prevent the epidemic.
As for the ongoing cholera epidemic, NEMA has always been part of team to help make the diagnosis and determine which of the strains of cholera is actually ravaging as we speak. And our team has also been involved in doing that in this current one that has happened.
What is lacking now is to increase awareness among people, educate people on how to prevent cholera, and then educate people on when, despite those prevention, if somebody comes down with cholera, what needs to be done. I think what we need to spend our energy now, because treatments, all those are very expensive. So, but what we need to do now is to create awareness.
Residents of Lagos urge government to deploy healthcare professionals to public spaces like markets and schools to create more awareness.
The government should move out people, more health officers, to engage people, probably in the markets, on the streets, just to talk to them and like maybe flyers to get enough people to know more about this cholera and the danger of having cholera.
Being awareness maybe in the market or schools will be more educative, maybe particularly in schools where people are popular in schools, and likewise in the marketplaces, and likewise you mention the diverse way of maybe relating to people, because if I'm speaking English, this one cannot maybe understand English. Maybe we should say things in the diverse ways, definitely using different dialects, the way such people will just understand and maybe compile towards the control of the cholera thing on board.
Government can help the community and the market people. They can bring the campaign to the market so that we explain to them different languages, so that maybe Yoruba, Igbo, there are all those different dialects. So if they explain it to them, so they can bring the campaign to the market so that
It is believed that increasing more awareness through campaign and educating the community about the risks of cholera will help individuals understand the disease better and take preventive measures.
Still in Lagos, major part of Mushi-Olosha Road in Lagos State has deteriorated significantly, making navigation a big challenge for motorists. Commercial drivers and business operators are urging the local government to address the necessary repairs as the road condition is severely impacting on their business operations. Victoria Chokolo reports is presented from our studio.
Mohsen Olosha Road in Lagos State, which was repaired a few weeks before the 2023 general election, is now in a severely deteriorated condition. The bad part of the road is making navigation very difficult for motorists. Mohsen Olosha Road is a crucial route that connects so many areas in the state. According to residents and business operators, the poor road condition is due to the use of substandard materials in the construction.
4 to 6 months now, and it gets destroyed every day by day.
Our government are not trying at all. They are really suffering our drivers from the bad roads. They are not constructing our road. It's very, very bad. At least during weekend, the drivers do suffer a lot. They do suffer a lot. Even though most of them might just stop off that they are not working again due to bad roads.
It's about a lot of roads that have been constructed in Lagos State by using artificial materials to construct the road. If they said they construct the road today, less than 1 year, it will expect that road to get back again. This is seeing this road in this place. The way that makes this thing to happen like this is that the quality of materials used on that road is not quality.
Commercial drivers also speak on the negative effects of the road to their transport business.
The road has been really bad. Since last year, we have been suffering on this road, most especially at Olosha there. So day by day, even this afternoon, there was a truck that fell inside gutter there. So we are really suffering on this road. So the government or the local government chairman, they should come and intervene.
The road is very bad. It's not good at all. It's very bad. It's too bad. Causing accidents every day. The road is too bad. We are begging government to come and do this road.
Mohsen Olosha Road currently lacks a proper drainage system, which is exacerbating its deterioration.
Flooding has displaced many residents in Benue State capital, Makurdi. Correspondent Jimmy Azande, who visited the affected areas, reports that the victims are going through tough times. Here's the report.
According to available statistics from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Benue is one of the states listed as flashpoints for flooding this year. Though the flooding of some sections of the town has become perennial since 2012, Thursday night's downpour came with tears of agony from residents who battled through the night to safeguard their lives and properties.
No place to sleep, no place to rest. Even my animals, you can see everything's it's not. You can see my freshly farm, there's nothing there. Pigly, only few. Chicken, there's nothing. You can see my poultry farm down there, everything's down.
Like Mama Celestina, many in the affected settlements have their loads of tales.
We were sleeping. I was inside sleeping, and I discovered that something was touching my body that I didn't understand because I stay alone. So I was kind of scared that maybe something entered and maybe a living thing or anything relating to that. So when I woke up, I discovered that my legs entered inside a pool of water. And I stepped out and saw that the whole compound was flooded, as you can see.
Okay. I'm very bitter this morning. I'm shattered and battered. My entire family has been thrown into the streets. We are now internally displaced. I, my humble self, and my family have no difference with the IDPs in the camps. So if the government can come and drain gutters, build culverts, I think that is going to curtail the flood we're having or experiencing nowadays.
One of the affected areas, Gado Villa, which shares proximity with the Benue State University, is dominated by students who also count their losses.
As students, it's quite very, very unfortunate to cope with the situation, but we just appeal maybe the government should help us. That's just the help we need right now. Also, we're so stuck right now. Comparing this with school, it's never easy.
So I'm now calling the government to come to our aid to assist some of the students too that had the same issues.
Some residents say they were asked to vacate their homes to avert the disaster. However, the government did not provide alternative shelter. EFOS, together the Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency Management Agency SEMA is yet to yield positive results. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
You're still watching Trust TV's News Hour. Let's now join Yusuf Okogu for business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogo. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has decried the 2024 budget performance report, which showed that only 1.84 trillion naira had been achieved so far out of the budget's 9 trillion naira capital expenditure component before the amendment. The Chamber made a remark on Thursday during an address on the state of the economy, where it noted that the capital expenditure released so far was too small in the face of the magnitude of the infrastructural deficit that businesses faced. President of the Chamber, Gabriel Indahosa, advised government to be faithful in deploying the additional funds on business-boosting infrastructure as proposed to the National Assembly. Indahosa added that government must be innovative and sensitive in its quest to drive revenue generation to fund the budget deficit. Nigeria's external reserve has increased to $35.77 billion on Thursday, up from $33.09 billion at the end of 2023. This is according to the data from the Central Bank of Nigeria on the external reserve movement. The figure represents a $2.68 billion increase in the country's external reserves in the past 6 months. Further data show that Nigeria's foreign reserve crossed the 35.05 billion naira on July 8. The Peace Bank had projected a decline in the country's external reserves in 2024 in its macroeconomic outlook. The CBN based its assumption on continued payment of outstanding foreign exchange forward obligations, matured foreign exchange swaps, and debt service. The outlook also projected a marginal increase in diaspora remittances to $19.42 billion from $19.17 billion in 2023. NGX closed the week in green as investors buy penny stocks. Let's see how it went down. Conhom PLC up there 5.26% to close at $1.40 per share. Of course, Sovereign Insurance PLC also up 4.26% to close at 49 kobo per share. Of course, Custodian, another insurance company, also up 4.17% to close at 10 naira per share. Of course, this has pushed up the market up marginally by 0.04%. Volume of trade 603.884 million shares, valued at 9.164 billion naira in a list of 9,988 these exchanges among investors this Friday. Of course, let's look at the top trading equities in terms of volume. FCMB Nigerian PLC leader table there, 114.120 million shares traded. Jais Bank 103.346 million shares. Of course, UCAP 56.759 million shares. It also traded as well. Some equities ended on the losing side of the market. Leading that table is Scottish PLC down 8.55% to close at 5 naira and 99 kobo per share. Of course, ABC Transport also down 8.33% to close at 77 kobo per share. Of course, Tantalizer PLC also down there 8.16% to close at 45 kobo per share there. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Friday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Oil prices dropped on Friday as strong dollar and concern over the economy of top oil importer China were countered by a tighter supply outlook. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $84 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, price steadies at $84 per barrel as well. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akubu.
Thank you, Yusuf, for that business news update. We go away From Nigeria to East Africa, where Kenya's President William Ruto has named a new cabinet in a bid to end the political crisis that has engulfed the country since anti-government protests started in early June. Now, 6 former ministers from the previous cabinet were reappointed. In a televised address on Friday, Ruto retained Aden Duale and Kithure Kindiki, his political allies, as defense and interior ministers, respectively. Ruto also retained Alice Wahome as the Minister of Land and Soy Pantuya as the Environment Minister. Former Energy Minister Davis Churcher has been moved to Transport Ministry, while former Trade Minister Rebecca Miano has now been appointed the Attorney General. President Ruto also brought 5 new faces to the cabinet.
I gave the nation my undertaking to reflect at length on these issues that have been brought into sharp focus by the people of Kenya. I also promised to consult widely on the way forward, and I also promised to craft a broad-based government that would harness the enormous potential in our country to turbocharge our economic transformation and to provide for inclusive growth. While the events of the past 1 month have caused tremendous anxiety, concern, and uncertainty, the crisis has presented us with a greater opportunity as a nation to craft a broad-based and inclusive citizen coalition for.
And it's time for sports with Emmanuel Fashami.
The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owaneno, has stated that all athletes will receive their camp allowances before they depart from the venue of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games in France. Owing athletes allowance is increasingly becoming a norm as many podium finish athletes fight to get what is due to them many months after great outings. The minister gave an instance of the 2023 All-African Games where some athletes are still being owed allowances after the country finished second on the overall medal table. The minister said athletes will get all their financial entitlement before their departure from Paris, France during an interactive session with sports journalists in Abuja. The Olympic Games will run from the 26th July to 11th August 2024 in France. Nigeria Super Falcons midfielder Tony Payne has expressed her happiness after joining the English Women's Soccer League side Everton FC from Sevilla, Spain. The versatile 29-year-old player joins the Toffees after a 6-year spell with Sevilla in Spain, where she played 169 games, scoring 30 goals in the process. Everton on Friday announced the capture of the Nigerian international who departed the Spanish side Sevilla earlier in the week. Payne, who starred for Nigeria in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, expressed her excitement. "I am super excited to be an Everton player. It's been my dream to play in the UK and in such strong league like the Women's Super League in the UK." Everton manager Brian Sorensen praised the signing. "She's exactly the type of player we need. I am 100% confident Tony can fit right into our team and into this league." Tony Payne is part of the Super Falcons squad going to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games in France. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for the latest in sports. And that's it. We've come to a wrap for News Hour this night on Trust Television. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, do what follows on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight.